All right, so first off, everyone that celebrated 4th of July yesterday, hopefully you had fun with the fireworks. It was raining in both places where I was yesterday, so I didn't get to go see. Obviously, I saw neighbors and whatnot launch a bunch of them off, but I didn't get to go see a real show. But hopefully you did. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, that's what I'm going to start this off with. Now, getting into the XFL, season's done. I thought overall I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very fun season overall. Just looking back at it, looking at the games, I thought both semifinals were fun. I think Philly shocked the world, at least the people that were watching the XFL. Sorry, USFL. I don't think a lot of people expected that to happen, because to me, the Generals seemed like the best team in the league heading into the playoffs. I thought they were better than the Stallions. They just seem like an unstoppable force. I thought, okay, this is it. They're winning the whole thing here. They're gonna cruise right on in. 9-game win streak, and then the Philly Stars just shut them down. They were not prepared for the Philly Stars, despite just playing. I mean, again, it was kind of backups and not all the starters played. But the week prior, they were not prepared for them. I don't know what happened. They kind of fell apart in the moment, and realized, hey, we're in the playoffs, so that's good enough for us. Breakers, those were my team, or they were my team. Fun season, I thought. I'm not a Slaughter fan, whatever it's called. Whatever his last name is. I mean, he had, I think it was 3 picks in the game against the Stallions for that semifinals. One was returned for a touchdown, and I saw people were defending him. I'm like, this man threw like 2 or 3 interceptions, and you gave him 7 points. I don't know why you can't say he didn't have any part to do with it. He obviously had a big part in that loss. But I thought the defense played well. I enjoyed that game. It was not. I was setting the standard of, okay, best game of the league of the inaugural season. It was not that, but it was fun. And then I was debating, because I was out of town this past weekend for 4th of July weekend, so I didn't know if I really wanted to watch the game, but I ended up having time to watch. I caught, I think it was 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Came back, there's like 10 minutes left in the third quarter, and then just kind of watched the rest of it, second half, just mainly most of the second half I watched. And fun game. It sucks because both starting QBs actually went down and got hurt. So we had both backups playing basically the whole fourth quarter. So it sucks for the people that got injured. Case Cookus said he had a marriage or some sort of big party going on coming up in the next couple weeks. So, hopefully he's fine. I believe it was a leg injury that he went out with. Is it Jamar Smith, I think, is the Stallion starting QB. He went out with a thigh injury or whatever. He was on the side trying to work out and trying to come back in. He never did. And he went out like middle of the third quarter. So Cookus went out at like the end of the third quarter, very start of the fourth quarter. But I remember most of the fourth quarter was basically just backups playing QB, and it was interesting because Stallions got a 10-point lead with I think it was 2:15 left. I can't remember. 2:30, somewhere in there. There wasn't a ton of time left. Stallions had a 10-point lead, missed the field goal, missed the extra point because it should have been an 11-point lead, but kicker missed it. He struggled all game, and so Stars go down and score, and there was like 1:40 left. And me thinking with my NFL brain, which I grew up 21 years of NFL, I'm like, okay, there's no way they're coming back. And I'm like, oh, wait, they have the 4th and 12 play. So I completely forgot about it. Again, this is not the NFL. This is a whole different league. So you got to rewire your brain to remember there's different rules for this league. And I hope the NFL adopts this. So they ended up not getting it. But 4th and 12, you are at, I think it's the 35-yard line. Your own 35-yard line is where you start. And, they set up the chains 12 yards away. And you got to, get that. And then you get the ball you get keep the ball and you can try to go from there down to the end zone, either score a touchdown, field goal, whatever you need with the amount of time left. And so I was thinking, okay, you know what? That makes the game so much better. Especially they were down 10, now you're down 3, and you have another chance. And I forgot all about that. And thankfully, they obviously reminded us, the broadcasters reminded us, because it would have been so weird to just see them going for 4th and 12 and just be like, what the heck? So I hope the NFL adopts this, especially, again, if teams are, down 10 plus trying to come back with not a lot of time left. I like this idea a lot. Now, the Stars, it was almost a catch. And he would have been maybe a half a yard short if he did catch it. But he got sandwiched. The wide receiver got sandwiched. But it was almost a spectacular catch to keep the game alive. But when it happened, didn't get it. Basically, Stallions were able to run out the clock. And they won the USFL championship. So, again, I thought it was a fun game. It sucked that both of the backups, had to kind of come in. I don't think they played any games before, but then you're thrown right into the championship, thrown right into the fire. So, at least they got some experience. Maybe the NFL will look at them for backups in the future or whatever. But, I think they played well. The Stallions backup threw a pick, and then they had audio. They had the coach mic'd up, and they're talking with the backup, saying, hey, forget it, put in the past, let's just move on, let's go win this game. So that was a big talking point for when they got the championship, was, the conversation there, not getting upset when you, throw an interception and whatnot. So, again, I enjoyed the championship. I didn't know if I was going to, be able to watch it. I didn't have a lot of thought in it because I was focused on other stuff this weekend. So, but I enjoyed it. Season as a whole, I thought I didn't see every single game. I thought the first game of the season, it was the Generals Stallions, I believe it was the kickoff for the season. I thought it was very fun. Showcased, again, some of the best teams in the game. And then, a lot of interesting weeks. You have the Stallions getting upset, was that week 7, week 8, whatever it was, by basically like the worst team in the league. So it's basically like the Jags upsetting the Rams. The Rams just won the Super Bowl. It's like the Jags upsetting the Rams is what that is in NFL terms. And if you, whatever, I don't know, whatever you're going to say, baseball, hockey, whatever, I don't. Best team gets upset by worst team. That's essentially what it is. So, that was surprising, shocking. And again, the Stars, I didn't pay much attention to them. I know, I heard the announcers, kind of week 9, week 10, like, oh, yeah, this team is ready, they're loaded, and they can make a run at this. And I thought, I don't think so. But the Stars really shocked me. Again, going in the playoffs and then getting in the championship game. Yes, it's only one game, but you still got to get through the semifinals. So, overall, I just enjoyed this. I'm so thankful they got through a full year. We got a full year of spring football. Has not happened since, the 90s, I think. 80s, whenever the last time was that there was a spring football league. Both, AAF didn't work, XFL didn't work. So to have the USFL get through a full season, that's going to, potentially next year, we're going to potentially have the XFL and the USFL. I don't think the AAF is ever going to come back. I don't know. That would be really interesting to have 3 leagues on in spring. That would be very interesting. That'd be a lot of TV and a lot of. If I were to cover that, it would be it'd be so hard. So again, I'm excited for next year, next spring, for this to start. I think it was the first week of April. Didn't it start April 1st this year? I think I'd have to go back and check, but April, sometime early April, we'll have season 2. I'm hoping maybe there's an expansion of more teams next year. If there was a Wisconsin team, I would absolutely go crazy for that. But right now I'm supporting the Breakers mainly because I talked about this in a video I put up 2 months ago or whatever. But there's so many teams that are just red, red and white, and so on and so forth. That seeing like the Gamblers had their black unis and whatnot, and then again the Breakers had blue, Maulers had some purple and whatnot. I'm like, I just want to root for a team where it's not all red like half of these squads are. So I just ended up going with the Breakers just because my favorite color is blue. But again, I was just a football fan, just surveying the land, just watching, again, as many games as I could. I did not watch them all. But I want this to thrive. I want more spring leagues to thrive. I'm going to support the XFL. Maybe one day, and it's the year 2030 or something like that. Like, it's not going to happen overnight, but maybe 2030 we have an XFL, USFL, playoffs, championship, whatever. They combined and we get something bigger in the spring. And we know that the XFL is going to have potential NFL players. They're going to kind of scout them and whatnot, kind of like a G League for the NBA. There are a bunch of USFL coaches. I believe there's refs going to the NFL. Now that their season's over, they can start the process. So I'm okay with this being its own thing. I'm okay with the NFL kind of taking these. Now it sucks because my problem with the NFL is it's just the refs are way too involved and whatnot. Like I'm sure I've talked about this before, and I could even make another video on it, but I didn't mind the refs in the USFL. And I'm hoping the refs in the USFL, or the XFL next year, kind of take the notes of what the USFL refs did, what the owners and whatnot did to give the refs. They have their power, but you get it sent to New York, or I think it was New York, and they can overturn it there and whatnot. So like they were picking up flags in the championship game when one ref thought it was pass interference. They're picking up, go and send it to New York and say, nope, it's not. Let's pick that flag up. Let's get on with the play. So, stuff like that. I don't want the refs taking over the game. They're not the main stars. The players are. Which is, again, that's another reason of why I really enjoyed the USFL is the players felt like the stars. It didn't feel like the refs were taking over, the game. They feel like they were taking it over late. I like the college rule of, stopping the clock if you get a first down and whatnot. But it didn't feel like there was any need for the refs to, enforce anything. Because, they had people in New York say, okay, well, refs are wrong. We're good to go. And we just move on. And there's no, time delay. Yes, okay, if there is some big call, they will take their time away. But typically, if it's just a small little thing, they'll have it up on replay in 5 seconds in New York, and they'll say, okay, carry on, let's go. And it moves the game faster. So that's what I also hated with the NFL is sometimes we as fans go, okay, well that's an easy no call, that's an easy call. And the refs are sitting there for 5-10 minutes just looking at it in slow motion. And it's just like, do you not see that? Like, so again, I hope the NFL adopts it. I hope the USFL adopts it. If the AAF ever comes back, I hope they adopt it. But again, make it about about the teams, not the refs. And that's what I want the NFL to really take away from this. I'll probably do a video maybe as we get closer to the start of the NFL, maybe around preseason time. Kind of hoping what they adapt. Because again, they're gonna adapt some stuff for the XFL. We'll see if they adapt anything for the USFL. Obviously, the season just wrapped up, so maybe we find out here in mid-July, early August, like, hey, they're going to take this or take that from the USFL, implement it into their game to make it better. I would love the college rule of, you get a first down, clock stops inside the 2-minute warning. I would love that. I think it would make things more interesting. I want them to implement the 4th and 12 rule. I'm okay. I know some people just don't care too much for, the 2-point conversions and whatnot, and, just keep it as is with the OT rules. Yes, college does it after 2 OT rules, but I'm okay with stuff like that if they wait for like a third OT and then they go, okay, well, 2-point. Stuff like that adopt from college. Again, I'll make a video talking about, stuff I'm hoping, the NFL adopts from these other spring leagues, from college and whatnot, because at the end of the day, some of these USFL games just flew by and you just didn't even realize it's been 2.5 hours, 3 hours. since the game started. It's just because they kind of flow. Sometimes I wish that there's a little bit less commercials because it feels like every 5 seconds there's commercials, and that's not the NFL. It's the USFL kind of had that in points too. So that's the networks, but it would be nice at points to just have less commercials and whatnot, and let's just kind of keep the ball rolling. Again, I injuries, whatnot. Yes, I get it if you got to have extended commercials, but if it's just an incomplete pass or a timeout, like they go longer than 30-second commercials. Like you can time them. They're longer. They're maybe a minute long or something like that. So again, I'm off topic, but I enjoyed it. I hope that again, can't wait for next year. I hope it's better. I want expansion teams for this league. Whoever you got to bring in, assistant coaches, head coaches, whatever, who the NFL is poaching, and you get someone better. I'm all for that. All the players that are going to the NFL, good luck. Like they're going to see this video. But I'm very excited. This was a very fun spring league, and I can't wait for more. We're going to have 2 next year, so I can't wait. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to cover both the XFL's first season, even though they had one 2 years ago now or whatever it was. And then we'll try to cover the USFL season 2. Maybe I will make predictions. I'm going to have to do 2. I don't know. I'll think about that. I got 6 months, 9 months, whatever it is. I got a long time to really think about how I'm going to set this up. So for now, like the video, share the video around, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Did you enjoy this? Did you watch it? Because I know some people didn't. But if you did watch it, what are your thoughts? What did you like? What did you not like? And hopefully maybe they improve next year. I'm sure they will. Again, first year, kinks are going to happen. It is what it is. But again, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Peace.